Feel free to take a seat. I just want everybody to kind of move in. Once you're sitting down for so long, it's always good to get up and get the body going. So, ladies and gentlemen, in case you do not know Tom Mitchell, he's a big, big supporter from day one of the Mobile Stage Conference. Always into, coming up with new ideas. Always wanted to participate. He's got a great perspective on things. Has a tremendous amount of experience in inclement weather here, because we all know in Florida, especially in the summertime, things can turn on a dime, and you always got to be prepared for that. That's not what this session is about, but I'll let him take it away. And please, we encourage questions, as many questions as you can, because this is a really hot topic, and it's affecting us, and it all comes down to if there's a collapse, if there's an emergency, we always want to review to say, why did it happen? How can we make it better? How can we make sure this never happens again? So, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. Tom from Reflections Productions.
I'm waiting for the teleprompter to roll because they asked me if I had the script ready. When have I ever done a script? First, I want to thank Todd, and you realize Todd is a hands-on, but Todd is not Apex. Jay, Engineer Wiz, Grand Poobah, or what's his nickname? Five Finger. He is not Apex. Apex is a team. And that team goes beyond the warehouse and the 4 walls or 8 walls, how many walls, and bomb shelters and tornado shelters that they have. Because they listen and they adapt. They let you come into the factory to see things as they're being built. They listen. The 2016, real quick, I know I'm off subject, but the 2016, when I first saw it, I'll never own one. And I just had the third one delivered. You have to be able to adapt to anything. My first stages were the Selners, the 2416s. I bought them, paid it off in a year. Bought another one, paid it off in a year. The following year, I bought a 3224, paid it off in a year. To be able to then go back into, and right now I have a couple of 2016s, a couple of 2420s, 3 3224s, the 4240, which we just added the fly beam from 4 foot to 14 foot and handles a 34 foot, 3,400 pound video wall. They're adapting, they're changing, and the new 5040, I cannot wait. But in the meantime, for 2016, I make into a front of house. It does the 5K runs. It does my wings. If I have to pull up real fast, I drop the 4240. I drop the two 2016s in each area. I asked them for a mirror version. We don't make a mirror version. But for Tom, we will. For any customer, they do listen. So I want to thank Apex very much for having that ear and for being a team concept. Now, what I'm here to talk about today is I'm filling for somebody who was supposed to be here that could not be. He was at the IAPA show. He won Best in Show. He was supposed to be on Shark Tank. And he developed a product that when I saw, I fell in love with. And it wasn't cheap. And of course, I don't think many of the products I buy are cheap. And I told him I had to get pissed off. I'm going to walk around pissed off before I come back. And I went off and I got pissed off and I came back and I still bought it. And that's the tower that you see down there, which he built and marketed. Now, as a stage company, I have no desire to own light towers. But he designed that one as a backyard party. That's supposed to replace the DJ. Oh, yeah, I used to be a DJ. I think we all used to be a DJ, right? Yes, yes. I took his concept and I strengthened it, and he built a new unit for emergency response. I'm not an employee of Apex. I'm not an employee of the LVL Tower. Yeah, I can't even pronounce it. But I bought it, and this is why. Astro World. We've had our share of bad things happening in the industry. Fire Festival. I was there, my stage. My brand new 42, 45 years ago this weekend. the Vegas shooting. God, why is my voice cracking? I think I'm going through puberty. And Astroworld. And that affects each and every one of us, whether we're a sound company or just a stage company. That affects us. And nowhere did the industry respond. Hi, on behalf of the industry, I'm going to tell you what I did for us. I bought the tower, and my plans were to equip it with a defibrillator. It has a 29-foot mast that goes up with white lights. It has a 3,000-watt sound system. It has a Sennheiser wireless mic. And it has a transmitter with multiple receivers. One, so it can transmit to an adjacent tower. And one, so it can transmit to your front of house console. My marketing on it is Astroworld. What they did a lot of things right. They're being condemned. It's the worst festival ever. Well, Fire Festival is the worst festival ever. But they did a lot of things right. They did a lot of things that every festival should and doesn't do. And I'm probably the only one with balls enough to praise what they did at Astroworld. But their number one fault was communication. If you're a sound engineer and you see something happening, you're not going to bring the sound down because you don't want to lose your job. You see a tornado or you can see a bad weather cell coming towards the stage. You got 20,000 people there and the headliner is about to go on. You don't want to cancel a show. Think of all the money that was spent. You'll never work in this town again. And that fear and that communication level, nobody wants to be put on the spot and make that decision. But if the firefighter comes up and says, hey, people are dying, stop the show, you stop the show. In Hialeah, I had 20,000 people in a stadium, and I watched on my phone a red cell approach, and 5 minutes before the show, packed stadium. I felt like God, and I didn't think anybody would listen to me, but I'm like, and they evacuated 20,000 people out of a stadium. How many people can make that call? But I had the communication in line. Astroworld did not. When I saw this tower, I see it as something that can be used in many fashions. One is behind your front of house. You got a problem, the firefighter, your crowd safety manager can go up, open it up, take the microphone out, start talking. It's going to come out your front house. Now your engineer's got to decide, is that a kid that's screwing around and cut it, or to cut the music? The first aid kit in it doesn't have Band-Aids, but it has the squib pack, so you got somebody that's shot you can put in and stop the bleeding. Am I trying to be a paramedic? No. But I'm trying to put the tools out there to give that paramedic that 5-minute lead time for their response stuff to come out. Multi-purpose. Why am I buying a safety tower? That's somebody else's responsibility. Well, because a lot of my clients are afraid of doing shows right now. And they want the industry to speak up and, well, what are we doing different? So this tower can be over by the box office where they're selling tickets. Oh, did I tell you? It's battery operated. There's no generator. I bought that unit a couple months ago. I've never charged it up. And it's still running. It could be your... well, the parents of Johnny, we have a little boy, 6 years old, blue shorts. Those type of pages, that can be done. You have an emergency situation where the lights go out. Hey, your box office has got money. You have an emergency situation. You have a place to go to talk to your crowd, to control your crowd. Originally, as an industry, and we've been doing sounds. When was the first speaker? Mike knows everything. Where was the first speaker and microphone invented, Mike? Where'd he go? From the beginning, anytime you have an assembly of more than 100 people, You are required to have a battery backup sound system. Do you have a battery backup sound system at your show? Most of us forgot about that, but if you go back, I'm old, okay? I used to do the 4x4 stages. I used to do the ladders to hang my lights. Our answer was a bullhorn. You were required to have a battery backup, and our simple answer, as a smart-ass answer, we had a battery-operated bullhorn, and the inspectors let us go. But they forgot about that. This is your battery backup. He made a second one that's more of the emergency tower, that's got a brighter white lights. I'm making my third one as a safety tower, and now we're talking about a fourth generation where it will be a line array sound system, 360 degrees. And if you want to use it as a delay stack, you unclip your 2 line arrays, move it to the other side, and you have a cable to compensate for the off-sided weight. They're putting the transmitter and antennas on the top 29 feet up. The range that you're going to have is incredible. Any information you want, I guess you're going to have to read the thing, or you can contact me. LVL Tower is the website. The unit that's out there, that's all the powder-coated paint. It's got the LED lights in the speakers and the LED lights. It's meant for backyard parties. It's meant to replace us DJs. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to make a statement. Will I make my money back on that? No, I don't think so. But then that's not my object. My object is to make my client feel more comfortable, to make permitting feel more comfortable, to make the industry feel more comfortable. So I invite you to stop by, look at it. Any questions that you may have, shoot. Oh, don't say shoot. But go ahead and ask, or you can ask me later. Diversity is the key, whether it comes to the towers, whether it comes to your mobile stages, your use. COVID, we were talking about COVID yesterday or this morning. I went and was offering all those stages with LED walls for so cheap. I also produced a 6-week show called Electric Holiday in Miami with a 4240, with a $100,000 light show, with 2 giant video walls. Yeah, I lost $25,000. It was designed to be a drive-up movie, but it was dedicated to the industry, a drive-up concert, because there was nobody performing on the stage. It was Christmas music that had that trance feel, but it was still generic enough that grandma enjoyed it and the kids that went to Ultra enjoyed it. You have to think outside the box. You have to think marketing. And you have to think where you're going to be 10 years from now. Thank you for listening to me.